There are some places in life where you can only go alone. Embrace the beauty of your solo journey. Mandy Hale. If you want to be happy, learn to be alone without being lonely. Learn that being alone does not mean being unhappy. The world is full of plenty of interesting and enjoyable things to do and people who can enrich your life. Michael Josephson. No one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. Gautama Buddha. The thought of being on my own really terrified me. But then I realized being alone is really a cleansing thing. Lindsey Buckingham. Loneliness adds beauty to life. It puts a special burn on sunsets and makes night air smell better. Henry Rollins. In order to be open to creativity, one must have the capacity for constructive use of solitude. One must overcome the fear of being alone. Rollo May. Being alone and actually sitting with our own thoughts can lead to such growth and realizations that are rare in our everyday busy lives. Kourtney Kardashian. I'm fascinated with myself and love hearing the sound of my own voice. I'd like to hear what I have to say. A lot of people don't like being alone because they truly don't like themselves, but I love me. Gene Simmons. I used to think that the worst thing in life was to end up all alone. It's not. The worst thing in life is ending up with people who make you feel all alone. Robin Williams. The best part about being alone is that you really don't have to answer to anybody. You do what you want. Justin Timberlake. Associate yourself with people of good quality, for it is better to be alone than in bad company. Booker T. Washington. You're not alone, there is more to this I know. You can make it out, you will live to tell. Sayoshin. Nothing else so destroys the power to stand alone as the habit of leaning upon others. If you lean, you will never be strong or original. Stand alone or bury your ambition to be somebody in the world. Orison Swett Martin. You have to go ahead, even if no one goes with you. Lila Gifty Akita. Sometimes, you need to be alone. Not to be lonely, but to enjoy your free time being yourself. If you wanted to do something absolutely honest, something true, it always turned out to be a thing that had to be done alone. Richard Yates. When you learn how to be alone, you'll discover the difference between alone and lonely. L.J. Vanier. Truth is, I'm generally happiest when it's just me. It's okay to be madly in love with yourself. Rochelle E. Goodrich. To be of good quality, you have to excuse yourself from the presence of shallow and callow-minded individuals. Michael Bassey Johnson. People who do a job that claims to be creative have to be alone to recharge their batteries. You can't live 24 hours a day in the spotlight and remain creative. For people like me, solitude is a victory. Karl Lagerfeld. If you are ever sad and think that life is hard, remember that you are not alone. Dasha Abbas Khazaruni. You are never alone. You are eternally connected with everyone. Amit Ray. If you are never alone, you cannot know yourself. Paulo Coelho. A season of loneliness and isolation is when the caterpillar gets its wings. Remember that next time you feel alone. Mandy Hale. Sometimes you need to sit lonely on the floor in a quiet room in order to hear your own voice and not let it drown in the noise of others. Charlotte Erickson. Do not whine. Do not complain. Work harder. Spend more time alone. Joan Didion. I was lonely. I felt it deeply and permanently, that this state of being on my own might never disappear. But I welcomed the loneliness, which had everything to do with being anonymous. It's never loneliness that nibbles away at a person's insides, but not having room inside themselves to be comfortably alone. Rachel Sontag. Never give importance to anyone more than yourself, because once that person becomes important, you become nothing. Dash Viren. Without great solitude, no serious work is possible. Pablo Picasso. We need solitude because when we're alone, we're free from obligations, we don't need to put on a show, and we can hear our own thoughts. Tamim Ansari. We need quiet time to examine our lives openly and honestly. Spending quiet time alone gives your mind an opportunity to renew itself and create order. Susan L. Taylor. I've always believed that the only defeats and victories that matter in life are those you lose or win alone, against yourself. Mihail Sebastian. Solitude is the soil in which genius is planted, creativity grows, and legends bloom. Faith in oneself is the rain that cultivates a hero to endure the storm, and bear the genesis of a new world, a new forest. Mike Norton. You cannot be lonely if you like the person you're alone with. Wayne Dyer. If you make friends with yourself, you'll never be alone. Maxwell Maltz. Being alone doesn't necessarily mean loneliness. People are great. But being alone is wonderful. I prefer the silence of alone. And the sounds of nature. Jason Zabate. There is something immaculate about loneliness which only lonely people can understand. Munia Khan. I made my way here alone for a long while. It took some time to find my place. It took more time to become somebody worth protecting. Melissa Albert. There are two kinds of luxuries, being alone and being with someone who understands. Nitya Prakash. Like it or not, there are times when you need to be alone, times when you need to be lonely, times when you need to meet other people. Alan Bradley. One of the greatest regrets in life is being what others would want you to be, rather than being yourself. Shannon L. Alder. It is never too late to make a change, and taking some much needed alone time for yourself to reflect is not selfish. Nikki Mack. Never make the mistake of thinking you are alone, or inconsequential. Ignorance is voluntary and confusion is temporary. You see the world as is, which is more than can be said for the vast populace. Rebecca McKinsey. Life could be wonderful if people would leave you alone. Charlie Chaplin.